Alright guys, so this is Pablo J. Luis Vargas and another episode from the PJAlphaMusic podcast. Today is going to be the episode number 65. What the hell am I talking about? I've been doing a lot of podcasts in my link directly to the anchor.fm. I've been not posting a lot on YouTube. You can say it's just laziness, I understand. But today is gonna be my first time posting on YouTube beside posting directly in my podcast. So if you wanna see me in video, you can go to my YouTube channel PJAlphaMusic, or if you like the audio, you can just stay in the PJAlphaMusic podcast. So yeah, make sure that you follow me in the anchor.fm podcast. You can just listen to the podcast everywhere you go, gym, car, in different distribution companies, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth. But if you're watching me on YouTube, we're here. We haven't gone anywhere. So today's podcast is number 65. It's gonna be titled "The Real Meaning of Life as a Man." Okay. We know that we have been talking about manhood in the last couple of videos. I think it's a very important topic to talk. I'm just deciding to just spend a couple minutes, I would say, to just go into it. And what is my opinion? Okay, this is all my opinion. Okay, it's nothing, based on doctorate degree or nothing about that. Just my personal opinion, my personal journey through being a man, right? It's being confused by whatever is going on in the world right now. It's kind of weird. It goes up and down, and then the meaning of manhood has just really been dissolved, I must say. And I'm here just to share my opinion and what do I think about manhood and what is the real meaning of life as a man, right? So let's start with the fact that manhood is not only just sleeping with women, it's just being loud and all that stuff, being too much, right? That's not being a man, right? That's just being a coward, okay? Those things I know in the community, it's feeling like people like to put that a lot out there, and somehow that describe your manhood. That's not what it is. That's something that can come up with it if you work on yourself a lot, but in reality it's just something small. Okay, so one of the main things of man, right, to be a man is a man take personal responsibility. Okay, and let me just really dive into this. A man, the meaning of a man, it means that every time that he wakes up, right, he's taking responsibilities, right, to move forward towards his goals. Okay, we know as men, right, when we see another man not taking responsibility, we call them coward, right? And you may ask, oh, why is that? It's just how we built. Okay, when we don't see men not taking responsibilities, right, we start to just really look down another man, right? And there's a reason for that, because as a man you have to be you have to build, right? You have to create yourself to become something more than what you were yesterday. Okay, so that's why as a man we always expecting taking personal responsibilities. It's a great concept if you're a woman, you want to go with it, right? Taking personal responsibility as a man is something that derives from the fact that when people see you, right, you can be a good model to just be followed. Okay, that's why as man, right, taking that personal responsibility, right, put you in a spot, not only happiness, like you building something, you getting stuff done, which is confused for the fact that so many men get into depression. The reason they get to the depression is because a lot of things don't get done, so it get piled in your mind and your emotions, right? So you start feeling depressed, not having meaning in life, all those weird stuff. So that's what personal responsibility comes in, right? You start making sure you have some order in your life. Okay? So it's important that when you wake up in the morning, you go through life, you go through your day, and you are finishing those tasks that you're supposed to be finishing, right? That give you some fulfillment. Not only that, you have a family. In my case, I have a family. If I take personal responsibility, they see me and start taking personal responsibility. Not only that, right? All those good things that I get from being responsible for myself, right? That means that energy is transferred to others. And with that come respect. Okay. You taking responsibility, you can just speak from a position of authority for simple fact that when you talk, right, it's congruent with your actions. Okay, you're not only talking, you're talking and walking and taking action. Why is that important? Imagine trying to get rid of alcohol, right? And then you go to your neighbor. But the problem with your neighbor is he likes alcohol. Now, both of you guys know that alcohol is bad. Okay? Now, the problem is that the guy giving you advice regarding leaving alcohol is the guys that like to drink every night a bottle of whiskey. You see what I'm saying? So, because that guy is not taking responsibility to just even follow his message, right? Comes down as a low value man because there's no congruency. Okay? So taking personal responsibility goes first, and then you can just talk. Okay? Make sure that you're making actions. Keep it quiet to yourself. Fix it and move forward. All right? Now, let me move to another one that I have here. And this one really resonates. Looking for answers to problems. Okay? Now, this one's very interesting, right? Because this one, you can really get suffocated by this one. But looking for solutions to problems, right? Put you in a spot where it could be high on anxiety to having a fulfillment after that anxiety. Let me explain. You have a car is not working. Somehow you're trying to turn on the car is not turning on. You open the car, you start searching around what the hell's going on. Is the battery good? It's clean? Anything? All of a sudden, you start looking for solutions. Somehow, you manage to look for the solution. You turn on the car. There's a fulfillment. Okay? Somehow for man, right, every time that we have a problem, we solve the problem, right? There's pride, right? We contribute something. We put something, a solution to a problem. So we get, some pride. Okay? There's nothing wrong with pride, right? Just to make sure I'm clear. Pride is good. With pride, there's care, right? Now, you don't want to be too prideful where you cannot control your ego. No, you don't want to do that, right? But just make sure you have pride for things that are around you. Pride for your house. Pride for your car. Pride for your music. Pride for your work, right? Now, just you have to make sure that that pride is always keeping you in a high regards, right? Not putting you in a place where you're faking yourself like a custom, right? Because if you have pride for the wrong things, then you become a fake. A pure fakery. You don't want to do that. Okay? Make sure that you're always fixing problems, right? You're finding solutions without losing control. Okay? Don't lose control. Keep yourself sane. Keep yourself stable, right? That's very important, right? Having these things as a man is very important, right? Because it will build you up to greater things. Okay. Now, if you don't take control of these things, right, when the time comes, right, it will hit you very hard. And you're not going to have the emotional stability to really resonate with these new problems, because you never have the opportunity to have that muscle well where fixing problems has become part of your life. So that's why it's very important. Okay. Now, let me just say something. The real meaning of being a man in today's society is very, let's say, not obscure, right, but shallow. Society right now is redefining man like it's a game, like it's okay. As a man, you need to have a stronger reality than the world itself. Why is that? The world itself is a problem, okay? It's filled with people with problems, bad things, good things, right? But when you allow them to define who you are as a man, right, you enter what we call the flesh, right? Now, when you enter to the flesh, you have no control yourself. When the time comes to say no, you can't say no. Why is that? Because you already are part of the flesh. No personal responsibility being taken care of. You're down. Never resolve any problems. So you can't even fix yourself. You see how that goes like in circles? Now you allow the world to define you as a man, instead of just trying to optimize your natural behavior to move forward. I'm not a professional in this area, but I've been, trying to figure out this thing, right? You will notice that some things do make sense, feel natural. Some things feel unnatural. Being the protective of your family feel natural. Being a provider is natural. Being a follower in your family feels unnatural, uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. As a bird, you have to fly your own wings. You cannot just use your father, your brothers, your neighbors. You have to fly. And seeking that truth as a man, right, it's going to come with a lot of tests in life. The good thing is if you have these two things resolved, right, it's going to become easier. I'm not saying it's not going to be a cakewalk. No, it's not going to be. But at least with these tools, you can just move forward and defend yourself. It's not the same. Listen, if you go to war, okay, you prefer to go to war with a gun or without a gun? Exactly. So this is the gun. At least with this, you can move forward. Can you shoot back? And from there, you just, try to survive. I think I mentioned this before, a lot of energy, unstable emotional energy going around the air. Weird stuff. Like manhood is just getting a hit. And I do see a couple things going on, but one thing is complaining about things, right? But we have to bring solutions. Solutions are very important. Solution at least give us a guide, right? to what we can just move and at least try to go against the waves. I've seen that a lot. I've seen friends, people around here, manhood being very, very, and not destroyed, right? I must say, but sucked, right, to the ground. So don't let that happen to you. Make sure you face the world. Make sure that you know how you're walking through the world with allowing, these external things controlling your natural instinct, which is to be a man. Make sure that you go to your father. If you don't have a father, I understand, right? Some kind of masculine energy where you can just, remold yourself. So when your father, go to your grandpa. You don't have your grandpa. Try to find something where you can just replicate. Right? Some behaviors that you can just find attractive. Make sure those behaviors have virtue. Okay? Don't get trapped, in the sex and drug life. Don't get trapped on that, right? That's just a flesh, right? That comes and goes, okay? Remember, you have to have personal responsibility and always seek for answers in your problems. And you cannot do that if you're going crazy. I'm not saying don't learn how to just get laid, stuff like that. No, you do you. But, right, make sure you're doing it with self-control. Okay? Make sure you're doing it with the right person, right? You don't want to grab, right, an obscure night, a piece of hamburger and eat it, and you don't even know the hamburger has been left over for 2 months. Don't do that. Okay? Even if you want to get late, make sure you work on yourself, and that's gonna come naturally. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to play these games. You don't have to play these lines, right? Before I got with my wife, my best games were when I moved from being a pickup artist to a natural game, and I start working myself. Everything came very naturally, right? And I'm not even good with women, but it came naturally, right? Start working on yourself, and then it will come pretty natural, right? The more control you have in yourself, you can just make better decisions. And with better decisions, there's more responsibilities, of course, because there's a greater power that comes with it. So make sure you apply these principles, right? And go through life. Go through life. And hopefully, you can find your meaning in this world. Alright, this was episode 65 from the PJAlphaMusic podcast. The real meaning of life as a man. Again, not a professional, but I want to give my opinion. Right? Make sure you listen to this a couple times. See if you can get some context of this. I just want to put my little ingredient, even though there's still a lot of people out there giving their messages very good, but I just want to give my opinion on this. Make sure that you listen to all my other podcast episodes in the Anchor.fm, or just keep waiting for the next episodes here on YouTube. Alright guys, with this, I'm out.